seen a mic hog spit like a menace. Wild cannon, fun, I gotta chase a bat, huh? Yeah, rude, she's sexy and smooth. A double cross spot thief, that's out for my Jews, I'm feeling her in mysterious ways. That's why I stay on point like every single day. I gotta protect this place, I do it for my race, my word is born. Who could've did this? That snitch named Rouge. When I catch her, I'ma get her
Excuse me, sorry, that probably freaked you out. I didn't mean to cough. Good afternoon, boys, girls, and MBs of all shapes, sizes, colors, and orientations. Welcome to the one and only Alec Gunter stream. My name is Alec Gunter. We're getting started. So, yeah, there I am. Hello, everybody. Hello. It's been a minute. I'm sorry that I keep taking week-long breaks. It's not great. Totally on me, honestly. Like, I can't blame my mental health anymore, because my mental health's been doing better. I'm just lazy. Tuesday, I just didn't feel like it. So I didn't. And yesterday, I also did not feel like it. Although yesterday, I will say I was sleeping, like, all day. I slept, like, I want to say, like, 15 hours, 16 hours, like, I slept so long yesterday. It was so nice. And then I also got a full night's sleep last night on top of that. Holy shit. I have min-maxed my sleep stat. Have you done a Syria segment yet? I don't know if I'm going to. I don't know if I'm equipped to handle that. I'm not very good at foreign politics. First stream I've caught live, what's your opinion on planet colonization? How the fuck are we gonna colonize other planets when we can't even get shit done on our own planet? Like, that's magical thinking to me. We're not colonizing planets anytime in the next 1,000 years. Certainly not within our lifetime. It's not, in my opinion, it's not something even worth exploring at this point in time, because it's simply not going to happen. Like, you really think we're gonna terraform Mars when we can't even get our own shit together on Earth? No, 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 no. Assad bad, basically. Yeah, I've heard things about it. I'm just, like, not... I don't know. I'm not, like, educated enough on what's going on over there. I'm not equipped to handle it. Maybe that's just me being lazy, but... part of it is also, like... I feel like an Alec Gunter segment on Syria and Assad wouldn't... wouldn't do too well on YouTube and the algorithm. Not that that's the only thing I worry about, but it does play a role. On the bright side, you're remembering to announce without me reminding you, so that's nice. Yeah, I realized I forgot to do the announcement last stream. Because I went in there and I saw that it was, like, written in stream announcements, but I had never, like, pressed enter, so that's my bad. Hello, everybody. Hello, welcome in. I'm glad to have you all here with me. I forgot my hat. I feel like I don't look very good without my hat. Hold on. I wore the Hunter Biden hat today. Ugh. We can't all go deep on everything. Yeah, like... I don't know. I've never been good at covering foreign politics. Honestly, I don't even know how good I am at covering politics in general. I just feel like I built up an audience of people who watch me because I act stupid. And that's fine. I feel like I'm still putting a good message out there, at least. Fellow bald brother. I am indeed, yes. I am rocking the bald look. By choice, of course. It has nothing to do with the fact that my hairline is fucked. I've thought about getting plugs, but I just... It would be a vanity thing. And it's too expensive for me right now. I don't watch you for that reason. Well, it's fine if you don't. I think it's very important to have people sending a good message without being all about politics. That's why I've kind of been wanting to dip my toes into, like, the One Piece creation, video creation. I've been wanting to... Okay, so there's this guy. Let me show you real quick. This guy I've been watching. He's really cool. Let's see. Can I find him? Yeah, Squampopulous. You guys should check him out. He's got a really great system. I'll show you real quick. I don't want to steal his content. But, oh. Here, I'll show you a little bit. Let's see. So he's got like 4 types of fights. I think it's in this one. Yeah. So the 4 types of fights that he talks about is fly swatting, David versus Goliath, toss-up, and World Cup fights. So I'll just do a little bit of this section.
On the winning side. While not necessarily the climax of a story, a World Cup should be closely tied with the story's theme. Whoever emerges victorious should do so because they align with the very point a story is trying to make. A good example of a bad World Cup fight would be the finale of The Boys Season 3. Looking at the matchup, we see Homelander, the most powerful superhero in the entire show, and I guess Ryan's there too, versus a team of Queen Maeve, a super-juiced Butcher, and Soldier Boy. These are just about the strongest characters in the entire show, which makes this matchup a World Cup. So we should expect some great strategies, some great characterization, and a strong tie to the...
I like this chart a lot. So you got the 4 types of fights over here, and then like characterization strategy, one or the other for toss-up, and both for World Cup. And I feel like he hasn't, I feel like this guy hasn't watched One Piece at all, because if he has, he certainly hasn't shown it in his videos. And so I want to be the guy that like goes over One Piece fights and like uses his formula to do it. You know what I mean? I think that'd be really cool. Or something to do with One Piece. I just think that I think I could make pretty good One Piece content. On a different channel, of course. Yeah, I think that's good. You're a very good debater. Thank you. I appreciate that. I feel like I'm decent most of the time. I think the last debate I did was really good. I did mess up a little bit when I said that all of the cancer research that we have comes out of the Endocrine Society, because my brain mixed up endocrinology with oncology. So cancer wouldn't be the best example for that. They do some cancer research, so it's not the worst example either. But I did misrepresent them a little bit. A better example would be something like diabetes. Because my argument that I was making was, you trust the Endocrine Society when you're treating cancer. So why don't you trust them when you're treating gender dysphoria, right? But that argument would be better made with something like diabetes. You know what I mean? Something that is very specific to the Endocrine Society. You trust them for that, but you don't trust them for gender dysphoria. Now, this could sound like an appeal to authority fallacy, but in my opinion, I think that appealing to what the Endocrine Society says is fine in a debate, because like they're the fucking Endocrine Society. Like if they're pushing out, like, you still have to say, listen, this is backed by the research. We can pull up the research and show you, right? But I think it's just shorthand for that, to say that the Endocrine Society is accepting of this. So I feel like it can sound like an appeal to authority, but when you really break it down, it's not, because there's a reason that they support and push those treatments. The real fallacy is appeal to a false authority. Oh, really? I was arguing on Twitter. I've been arguing a lot on Twitter lately, and I need to stop. I didn't do very much yesterday, but the day before, like when I'm at work, I just get so bored and I start arguing with people all the time. And I was arguing with somebody who was trans. Their username is literally like, their screen name is the trans conservative. And I'm like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. So I was arguing with the trans conservative, and she's like, are you trans? I didn't think so. So therefore you should listen to everything that I say, because I'm trans and I know this stuff. And I'm like, that doesn't mean you know this stuff, first of all. Second, like, that's a real appeal to authority. That's a real appeal to authority fallacy. Like, because that person was trans, I should have to listen to them. Which is the same shit that Mary Chu did. Who has since called me a pedophile, by the way, so that's cool. Depends on the type of cancer as well. If a hormonal gland is cancerous, endocrinology is very important, or testosterone suppression and prostate cancer. Yeah, I made a false statement when I said all the cancer research comes from them. That is incorrect. I confused the Endocrine Society with, there is a society of oncology, But I confused the two subjects in my brain. It's still, the argument still holds though, like the base argument. Little baby Vouch. I don't think so. I'm a big man Vouch. I don't feel like my streams are that similar to Vaush's. Like, they have some similarities, sure, and I definitely take some inspiration from him, but I don't feel like they're that similar. For one thing, Vaush is kind of mean to his chat, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like I'm very nice to you guys, comparatively. Like, if somebody comes in with something out of, that's off topic, I'll just be like, listen, we're not talking about that right now. But, to be fair, he is a lot bigger than me, so he's had to put up a lot with a lot of bullshit. I mean, the false pedo stuff. Yeah, I know. Yeah, anybody, yeah, I'm sorry. Love or hate him, Vaush is not a PDF file. Sorry. You don't have any evidence of that. I deleted Twitter today because the experience for me was that it was basically an alt-right echo, a right-wing echo chamber. Yes, it is unfortunately becoming more and more of a right-wing echo chamber. I can't talk today, sorry. It's a very toxic place to be, and I should stay off of it as much as possible, but alas, here we are. We'll be looking at it today, too, for our React segments. Because that's where I got the Anna Kasparian bit we'll be going over. She's really been having a field day, huh? You got that. We're going to talk a little bit about furries today, too. I got a furry video. Because the last time I did furry stuff, it did really well, so...
I mean, what are you thinking?
I love Sonic Adventure, too. Yes, furries, indeed. At this point, Dave Rubin has more credibility. Yeah. Bosch isn't the only one mean to his chat. Hassan and Keffels. Does Keffels even still stream? I feel like she just fell off the face of the earth. Like, she tried to come back for a minute, but she just, like, disappeared after everything that went on. Which, I mean, what else was she going to do? I'm sorry, but, like, yeah, what she did was shitty. We won't get into it, though. Yeah, she was controversial. She was always controversial. I did like her for a long time, but unfortunately, a lot of the allegations against her were proven true. It's unfortunate. Yeah, we won't dwell on it too long. Sorry, I feel like I don't have a lot to update you guys on. All I've been doing is working and slacking off. Which sounds oxymoronic, but when I'm not working, I'm slacking. Like, when I'm not at work, I'm slacking off, and I usually, like, between tasks for my patient, I'm also slacking off, so... I couldn't stand by her after the abuse allegations, but I will still refuse to go back to some OG, the Twitter drama, be creators pool. Oh, yeah. What are your thoughts on animal rights and veganism? Being vegan is objectively the morally correct thing to do. I just don't do it. I don't have any arguments to make against vegans. Like, they are correct. They're right. Okay? Animals, you know, like, feel pain and suffering and experience a wider range of the emotional experience than, like, plants do. And so it's just more ethical to eat plants when you can. Now, cats literally can't. I think the most ethical thing to do... Well, first of all, the most ethical thing to do is to stop eating meat. The next best thing you can do is limit your meat intake, especially red meat. Red meat is the worst that you can do it, both for your body and for the environment. So fish and poultry. But even the poultry industry is not great. So if you could even cut it down just to fish, that's better. But then, like, even fish is not great. Like, I don't eat shellfish because I'm allergic, but, like, there are studies coming out now that, like, lobsters and crabs can feel a lot more pain than we initially thought. And so when you, like, drop them into a boiling pot, they're feeling that. They're boiling to death, just like a human would, you know? And we're inflicting that suffering upon those creatures. So that is not a great thing to do. And that's why I am so excited about artificial meat, right? Like, that's one of the reasons. I think the main reason, honestly, because artificial meat would take that away. It would take away, like, the need to exploit animals like that. But alas, our conservative overlords don't like it because they prefer to kill and torture and maim the animals. That's what they prefer to do. I think, here's what I think. If artificial meat is available, I think first and foremost, any other type of meat should be illegal. Like, if artificial meat is widely and readily available, the widespread production of any other type of meat, the widespread production and distribution should be made illegal. Or at the very least, very heavily regulated. Like, extremely heavily regulated. I had another point and I forget. But yeah, that's my stance. Would also be better for the environment? Yes. You could also, in theory, eliminate the need for, like, you know... No, that'd be a little more complicated. I was gonna say you could eliminate the need for, like, wild animals, like predators, to stalk animals for their meat, which I guess you could, technically, but, like... I feel like you kind of after a certain point, you kind of need to let nature do its own thing. I prefer any artificial chicken I've tried to Tyson brand. Is it already available? I've never tried it. I've never heard of, like, here, hold on. Or do you mean like tofu, like tofu chicken? U.S. approves chicken made from cultivated cells, the nation's first lab-grown meat. Plant-based? Gotcha. Soy curds tofu is nice instead of chicken. If you could rule the entire world and reshape it to your beliefs, what would you do? Would you do it? Yeah, of course I would do it. If I had, like, my say in everything, right? And I didn't have any worries about anybody coming after me for my life or anything, which would be a huge concern. Yeah, I would, like, immediately tell all the billionaires, well, fuck all of you, I'm taking all of your money and assets and we're redistributing them for the good of humanity. I would tell all of the gigantic industries that are polluting the earth to cut it the fuck out. I would tell Netanyahu to fuck off. I would, you know, there are so many things I would do. Like, if I could just flick a finger and be like, yeah, let it be done in my name. Yeah, I would absolutely do that. I think it'd be stupid not to. If there were danger present, like I had people coming after me, then I might refuse because I like my life, you know, and I don't want to give that up. But if somebody came to me and they were like, hey, you're king of the world now, just tell us whatever you want. Like, I wouldn't want anybody to know that I was king of the world, by the way. I wouldn't want anybody to know that I was the one making all these decisions. I would just be like, okay, we're going to fix this, this, and that. And I did not have a hand in any of this, by the way. Because I don't want people coming after me. I think if I could be the secret ruler of the world, that's what I would do. Conservatives oppose lab-grown meat because it refutes the dogma of biological immunism. I think they refuse lab-grown meat because they just don't trust science. They're cavemen. It doesn't go that deep. It's like they just do not trust scientific achievements. They never have and they never will. Like, you can literally walk up to them and say, hey, this is an objectively good thing that we've produced as a result of science. And they would be like, my God says no! So no. Blood for the blood gods. We must always have blood available for the blood gods. Okay. Sorry, I'm just looking. What's up? I haven't looked at showtimes yet, Katie. Me and Katie are going to see Gladiator 2 tonight. Would you rather go to the one at 8:20 or 9:10? Okay, let's do 8:20. I've heard mixed things about Gladiator 2, guys. Any opinions? Katie says she doesn't trust critics' opinions.
They always want movies to be some like big deep thing and have some deep life lesson that like you can take away from it and be profoundly changed. Like, no, sometimes movies are just stupid fun action. Okay?
You really liked the Rock movie.
Yes, I did. It was just stupid and fun.
The Dwayne Johnson Christmas movie.
If any of you have seen Red 1, you know what I'm talking about. If you saw Red 1 and had no fun, then I have to assume you are genetically unable to feel joy. So.
Yeah, I heard pretty bad things about it. Well, I heard it was mid.
It's not.
That's what I heard. Not like it was terrible, but like it was mid and it didn't know its audience. Has some fun fight scenes, but bad on the whole, lame plot, insufficient world building.
For Red 1 or for Gladiator 2?
Gladiator 2. I guess we'll see. What is this song? It is from Sonic Adventure 2.
What world building do you need? It's the Roman Empire. Go read a history book. I don't know what to tell y'all.
Red 1 was bad, but silly. Okay. Like Joe Rogan is just entertainment, sports too, actually. In my opinion, the world is a mess because the powers that be shovel all their secrets under the rug and lie. They're not even lying anymore. It's not a matter of whether or not they're lying. It's just a matter of like... Because Donald Trump doesn't lie. I mean, well, I shouldn't say that. He does lie, obviously. He's like a constant liar. But like, there are certain things that he does not lie about that people respect him for. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, he didn't lie about, like, exploiting the tax system. He just straight up said it. Like, yeah, of course I exploit the tax system, and you would too in my position. And people respect that. So it's not always a matter of them lying. Now, he is lying about, like, wanting good for the American people. I can't believe I said Donald Trump doesn't lie. Of course he fucking does all the time. But there are certain things he doesn't lie about that people are like, well, yeah, that's just the way it is, and they respect him for those truths. So, like, it's not even necessarily a matter of lying. I don't know. It's complicated. It's really complicated. Like, why is the world bad? I don't know. Get in line. Like, millions of people ask that question every day. Donald not actually going to get the grocery prices down Trump? Yeah. I think we all saw that coming. It was just interesting to see him admit it. Okay, I guess we'll start with Anna Kasparian. I'm not going to spend incredibly long on it. Let's see. Okay.
We are.
No, we're not watching it. All right, let's do it. Sorry if I'm a little low energy today. So, Anna Kasparian. She's been an interesting figure lately. I was going to say on the left, but, that would be a falsehood at this point, as she has since left the left, if you will. She hasn't made that official. But she, because she feels like they're left-leaning people being very mean and nasty to her, right? They said very mean, no words to her. And conservatives, meanwhile, are being very nice to her. She decided to completely uproot her entire belief structure and just completely start, kowtowing to right-wing ideology, which is pretty cool. I think it started, honestly, with the birthing person thing, which, what's weird about that is, a year or two prior to that, she had explained the concept of, no, birthing person would be used in, a clinical setting to differentiate between trans men and cis women. That would be the proper way to use it. And it's not like people are being forced to use this word to refer to women now, to cis women. It's just a term that, she explained that. She literally explained that front to back, cover to cover, years ago. And then, a year or two after that, she's like, well, I was called a birthing person, and now I'm Adolf Hitler. You know what I mean? I don't think she's quite reached Hitler levels, but she's gotten spicy. She's gotten pretty spicy with it. We're going to look at her segment from Glenn Beck. And I should also mention she's been having fallouts with people left and right. Not the least among them from the Majority Report, Sam Cedar, and why am I blanking on her name? I love her. Sam Cedar and Emma Vigeland. Emma Vigeland. She's been falling out with them pretty hard. Cosmopolitics, who I'm on good terms with. I haven't interacted with her a ton, but she is buddies with the Serfs, Lance from the Serfs, and a bunch of other people. And Anna Kasparian apparently lent her money at some point a few years ago and decided to bring that up against her now, which is disgusting, in my opinion. I holding that over people. Said, do not lend money to people if you plan to bring it up later. If you plan to bring it up later and hold it over somebody's head, just don't lend the money. Just don't do it, because that's a bad thing to do. Anna Kasparian, Cosmopolitics doesn't owe Anna Kasparian jack shit, okay? No, you gave her the money because she asked for it, and that's it. That's the deal, okay? You don't have to... It's just gross. It's just gross. Yeah, it's mafia shit, exactly. So that's what we're working with. So I just wanted to pull up a 3-minute clip from her. She does an interview, I guess, with Glenn Beck, or some kind of segment. I don't know who's interviewing who here. I just know that she did it an hour-long video with Glenn Beck. And we're going to look at a few minutes of it. From Clint Russell, this is what an actual awakening looks like. Not Mark Zuckerberg cozying up to the right as Trump reclaims power. Not minor lip service, but rather, I was an idiot. Kudos, Anna Kasparian. Let's see what's going on.
I can definitely be honest about my own flaws.
And for those who don't know, Glenn Beck is a what's the word I want to use? He's like an old school right winger. Like he used to be really popular, and he's kind of fallen from grace a lot in recent years. You don't hear about him a lot, but I used to idolize him as a teenager because I was a dumbass conservative as a teenager. So, he wrote books about like why global warming is fake and shit. So that's kind of what we're dealing with.
And my own mistakes because I bought the mainstream media narrative that there wasn't a migrant crisis.
Really?
And yeah, I did believe it. I believe because. Look, I was an idiot because, I mean, who do you trust in today's media landscape, right? There's a lot of liars out there.
Yeah,
and when it comes to mainstream media, the fact of the matter is they do play defense more and more for the Democratic Party. And that's an issue because there was a time when that didn't happen. And
Insofar as there is a migrant crisis, it's not a matter of like needing to send migrants back. It's that we're not taking good enough care of them. The United States is a very rich nation. We have the resources to take care of both migrants and the people living here. Like the people who are from here, I should say, because migrants are also living here. There are people who live here. So they deserve to be taken care of just as well as the people here. It's not an either or thing. We don't have to take care of like homeless Americans, homeless veterans, whatever, or migrants coming in. You can do both. You can do both. And leftists recognize that, and conservatives don't. They are trying to weaponize the fears that people have and the insecurities that people have, especially economically, to try and shift blame over to migrants and immigrants in order to push a narrative that they're the bad people, they're the bad guys, and we should kick them all out. And it's disgusting. And Erin Kasparian probably knows that and is playing right into it because she's just a disgusting person now. It's just unfortunate.
So I still believed in their good faith reporting, even though it turns out, a lot of these reports would omit really important details about what's really going on. And so it wasn't until Texas Governor Greg Abbott started busing or sending migrants to blue cities where that woke me up. That woke a lot of people up. And suddenly America realizes, there is a migrant crisis.
Why did that?
So that was human trafficking. Governor Greg Abbott trafficked people, lied to them, and sent them to places where he said that there would be resources for them when there weren't. And he did not inform the people in those places, hey, we're sending migrants there, just so you know. He didn't even tell them. He just trafficked people to those places. It was an evil, disgusting thing to do. And the fact that Anna Kasparian is like, well, this was a wake-up call for us is gross. It is disgusting. Greg Abbott should have been impeached and kicked out for that. It was disgusting.
Wake you up.
Well, because all of a sudden you're seeing migrants sleeping on the floor in the police department in Chicago because they don't have shelter for these people, right? You're seeing, these. I love watching streams of city council meetings shelter. Because that's how you understand what's really going on in these cities, right? These are real people who live there and they get their opportunity to speak.
Chicago's been an amazing thing to watch.
Wild.
Yeah.
I mean, I watch every city council meeting from Chicago because it's
crazy.
Incredible.
Yeah.
And for me, rather than relying on mainstream media reporting or anyone's reporting, to be quite honest with you, what I'll do is I'll go out of my way and I'll watch, the entirety of a government function, local government function. I talk to real people and I get a sense of where hearts and minds really are. And so on election night, I wasn't surprised at all.
I think it's important to talk to the general populace, like the general voting population, to get an idea of where everybody's at mentally. I think that's important. But I would hesitate to say that the average voter is kind of dumb. I'm sorry. The median voter is not a smart person, politically speaking. They might be smart in other areas. I'm not saying they're troglodytes. I'm not saying they're stupid in general, but I am saying politically speaking, they tend to be pretty dumb. They just don't pay attention to politics. So we should take their concerns into account. But if they're saying things like, well, I don't have what I need to survive and it's because of migrants, you shouldn't be scribbling down, oh, yes, migrants. Yes, we need to get rid of the migrants. Got it. That's not the takeaway. The takeaway is there's economic concern and there are real ways to fix it. And that does not include deporting migrants. It's a red herring that the conservatives have thrown out there to try to get people off the backs of real people who are ruining lives, like the CEO who passed away recently. He ruined lives. And that's why people were not upset that he died. So those are like the CEOs, the billionaire class. Like those are the people who are actually, trying to make our lives worse. And the migrants are just a distraction, and you can't feed that distraction.
I knew what was coming. I totally knew what was coming. I knew that Cook County was going to swing, I think it's about 8 percentage points toward Republicans. I knew LA County, and this is what I was surprised about.
Also, I'm sorry, Cap, but nobody knew that Donald Trump was going to win the way that he did. So that's Cap.
I did not expect Donald Trump to flip 10 counties in California.
Okay, well, she admits it
from
there.
Blue to red. But I guess I shouldn't have been surprised about that either. Because when you look at the conditions that people are living in a Democrat-controlled state, well, yeah, you can understand why people are turning their backs on the Democratic Party. You can understand why people are frustrated at the corruption, at the loss of $24 billion that was allocated to help the homeless, when homelessness only exploded during that time, and that money is now unaccounted for. It was funneled to nonprofits whose executives get paid minimum.
Passed away is a funny way to say get whacked. He passed away of a stray bullet hit him. We're not sure what the source of the bullet was or who could have fired, if anybody fired it. Maybe the gun fired it itself. We just simply don't know. There's been this name Luigi going around from the Mario Brothers that Luigi might have done it, but I don't know. I don't know. I was hanging out with Luigi, on the day that it happened. So I don't think that Luigi could have done
minimum $250,000 a year. And they have multiple executives who are making at least that or more. And you just see the waste and you see the real grift. And so for people out there who are concerned about the grifters, take a good hard look at the systemic grifting that's happening right now. It's disgusting.
Okay, well, she wasn't entirely wrong at the end there, but gesturing at an elite group is also a right-wing populist tactic. It's a faux populist tactic. So by keeping it vague and saying there's what did she say here? Let me go over it one more time.
Who are making at least that or more. It was funneled to nonprofits whose executives get paid minimum $250,000 a year. And they have multiple executives who are making at least that or more. And you just see the waste and you see the real grift. And so for people out there who are concerned about the grifters, take a good hard look at the systemic grifting that's happening right now. It's disgusting.
Again, she's not wrong about that, but it would be nice to see her to go into a little bit more detail. You know what I mean? With real solutions about how we ought to fix that. Instead of cozying up to people like Glenn Beck about it. But she's keeping it vague enough that she can get away with it. Is there any more of that? Kind of feel like we need a little bit more. I saw there was a 1 minute clip going around. Here we go. Let's see what this one is. Awkward. The two least cool people in the country, Anna, Karen, Kasparian, and Glenn Beck, think they're not the cool kids table. Let's take.
Or you're a traitor.
Or you're a traitor, exactly. Yeah. Or a grifter.
I think, one of the things, I love that one.
Yeah.
Do you have hope that there's been a sea change? We're at the very beginning of it, but it's strange. I was just talking to Donald Trump. I was doing a fundraiser at Mar-a-Lago a couple of days ago, and I said, I think we're like the cool kids now. I've never been at the.
I was literally just thinking he looks like the least cool uncle that has ever lived. What do you mean we're the cool kids now? That's such a lame thing to say.
Cool kids table.
This is wild.
Or you're a traitor.
Or you're a traitor.
We're at the cool kids table now. Who unironically says that? That's crazy. Let's see if there's anything else. Okay, one more. Anna Kasparian articulates to Glenn Beck how the left became religious zealots. Okay, I'm not reading all that. We'll just watch the clip.
In reality, we're talking about individuals whose politics is mostly based on, some fringe issue or some cultural issue that they have. It's not just that they care about that issue. It's that they've taken that issue and they've made it part of their identity. the core of who they are. And it's almost like
issues like
what you would expect from religious zealots, you know? And so
there are certain issues that if you make it a core part of your identity, that's valid. You know, like if you have a trans activist who makes healthcare for trans kids a core part of their identity, it's like, yeah, of course they would. Of course they would do that. That's, you know, that issue is important to them. I respect people who do that. So that in a vacuum is not a problem.
There's a fundamentalism involved in the way that they treat these issues, and there's no
not to mention she is literally across the table from a religious zealot. Very true.
Room to negotiate. There's no room to maybe consider the thoughts and concerns.
Well, what are we negotiating on? Like, let's be specific. Let's get into specific issues that Anna Kasparian wants to negotiate on. Shall we negotiate on trans rights? You know, that's a big one for you. Let's negotiate on trans rights, right? Well, we can give trans people some rights. You know, there are some people on this side saying that trans people deserve equal rights to everybody else. There are some people on this side saying they deserve no rights. So, you know, they can have like a little bit of rights here and there, like as a treat. Like, let's compromise, right? Let's compromise. There are some things that you just don't compromise on. Okay, I'm sorry. Like, we already compromise on the healthcare of trans people, even before all of this nut job religious conspiracy bullshit about how the trans religion is trying to take over our children or whatever. Like, even before that, we were compromising on trans healthcare. You know, they needed like several years of therapy before they could get the same shit that somebody who's cis can get in like a doctor's appointment and a lab test. Like, the way that I got testosterone, and I've said this before, is you go to the doctor, you say, hey, I think I'm low T, right? You get your labs drawn. It turns out you are low T, and you get testosterone. That's all it takes for a cis guy to get testosterone. Literally all it takes. For a trans guy, you need like years of fucking therapy. You know, it's not fair. So it was already a compromise.
Concerns of other individuals.
Just
and
as an
so
example.
As they become more and more kind of like authoritarian in what they demand, they are pushing people away. And there are some issues in which the rights of one group might actually end up conflicting with the rights of another group, depending on what type of legislation you're pursuing.
I would love an example of like the rights of one group infringing upon the rights of another. Like, what kind of policy is she referring to? Like, what kind of policy? I would love to know.
And so, of course, this has come up with the trans issue. And I've always...
Oh, yeah. See, the trans rights. See, the trans people are taking away the quote-unquote right of women to go to the bathroom without somebody who has a penis happening to be in the stall next to them. That's not a right. You don't have the right to know what kind of genitalia that person in the stall next to you has. So that's bullshit. See, this is a full-on right-wing like swing that she's doing. And she's keeping it nice and vague so that she doesn't have to like actually talk about the specifics of her worldview.
He's been supportive of the transgender community, but when the rights of transgender people, particularly transgender women, start to cause some tension with the rights and freedoms of women or the perceived safety of women. Well,
see how she differentiates trans women from women, right? Like, it's not trans women and cis women anymore. It's trans women and like real women. Quote, like the missing word that she is leaving out on purpose is real women, you know, but she wouldn't have any problem saying that, I'm sure. And that's the problem.
Let's have a conversation and avoid assuming the worst of the people who want to have that conversation, right?
I'm fine assuming the worst with Anna Kasparian. She's definitely taken a horrific turn toward the right. Not great. It's sad because TYT has for a long time been a bastion of left-wing politics. You know, Cenk Uygur and Anna Kasparian both. And Cenk Uygur is not doing too much better. I've seen shit coming out from him too, and he's largely defending Anna. People have been leaving TYT.
In reality, we're talking about individual.
Why did you play again? Don't do that. Don't do that. Like I said, it's just sad to see. Like, Anna Kasparian has long been an outspoken leftist figure in politics. Never perfect, but you know, certainly better than most. And she's gone. She's just gone. I think that we have to accept that TYT has just fully grifted toward the right, and you know, they're just not what they used to be. Sad to see. She sees what's working for most other pundits and thinks that must be correct. 69 watching. It's 70 by my count. Guess I'm a cultist now. Let's discuss why I'm a lesser person. Let's discuss how we enforce bathroom bans. That's what I want to hear from Anna Kasparian. Okay, so we have trans women coming in. Like, you think that it's a rights infringement of cis women that trans women are allowed to go into the bathrooms, right? You think that's an infringement of rights. So let's talk about how we enforce bathroom bans. They never want to talk about that part. They're always like, well, we can tell. We can definitely tell, right? No, the fuck you can't. We have evidence that you cannot tell. Okay? There are plenty of cis women who have been accused of being trans women in women's bathrooms. Okay? And how are they supposed to prove that they're not trans? There's really only one way to do that. Right? And even then, it doesn't work, because what if you have bottom surgery and you're a trans woman? You know? And on top of that, if the issue really is, well, there's a penis in the bathroom, then you should be fine with trans women who have had bottom surgery going into the bathroom. But they're not. So it's not about that. It's literally just about hating trans people. That's all it comes back to. It's the only thing it can come back to. I'm arguing with the goober in chat. Who's arguing with you in chat? Ghost Cruncher. Of course you deserve respect. The problem is that some of these activists have gone too far, such as thinking that 2-year-olds can determine their gender identity. 2-year-olds have an understanding of what gender is, and 4-year-olds identify with one gender or the other, like by the time they are 4. I banned them. What did they say that was like bannable? You make people afraid to discuss any topic with you because you'll come out with claws and fangs. You slander people as soon as they voice a disagreement. Congratulations on being the reason why Anna wants nothing to do with you people. You talk down to anyone who has an opinion different even slightly from you. Listen, should I bring this guy on to talk? Am I really in the mood for that? I don't know if I'm in the mood for that right now. I don't even know if they'd agree to it anyway. Yeah, just ban him. I'm not dealing with it. Good call. Good call. Content? Is this content? Do it. Okay, fine. If they want to, since I know you're still watching, I just linked the Discord. Hop into the Discord. And then go into the waiting room. Agree to the rules and then go to the waiting room. I'm not going to sit here and let someone JQ on YouTube chat about my rights. I think it was a good call. But the people want to see blood, so if they really want to get into the voice chat, then I'll let them have a shot. I'll give them a chance. What's on the docket? Well, we just covered the Anna Kasparian thing. And the next thing I want to cover is what else did I have? Oh yeah, Brett Cooper. I need more debate perv slop. Yeah, I gotta get back into contact with what's his face? That one guy that I was having it out with, because I was supposed to debate him. Brad Plumbus. I was supposed to debate him, but it never ended up happening because he had to reschedule. And I just never told him that what a better day would be. Brett Cooper. Okay, well, I don't see anybody showing up in the waiting room, so I'm going to assume that person left. which is fine by me.
Welcome back to
Brett Cooper. Sorry, I'm looking for I thought it'd be on YouTube, the video where she says she's leaving. Here we go. Will it be that interesting? I want to cover it, but will it be interesting? Because it could just be like a 12-minute thank you so much for all the support that you've given me, blah, blah, blah. Like, we'll see how interesting it is. While talking about Arby's in YouTube chat. So, Brett Cooper, a famous clone of Ben Shapiro that happens to be female, is leaving the Daily Wire. Interesting content. I would like to know why she's leaving. Excuse me. From what I've heard, Brett Cooper is right behind Ben Shapiro in terms of how many views she pulls in. So this is going to be a big deal. It's going to be a big loss of revenue for the Daily Wire. And I'd like to know what's going on because they've already lost Candace Owens, was another big pull, especially in the id pull category, right? So let's see what's going on with Brett Cooper and why she's
guys,
headed
some of
out.
you have heard the rumors online, and the rumors are mostly true. Today, December 10th, will be my last day hosting the comment section and working for the Daily Wire. It is not true that I am being...
Did she say September 10th? Was it really that long ago?
Today, December 10th, will be my last day hosting the comment section and working for the Daily Wire.
December
It is
10th.
not true that I am being forced out. It was my own choice to leave. And believe me, this is bittersweet. I have had the most unbelievable 3 years helping to craft the show, building this community, and telling stories and sharing the truth every day. Through the comment section, you all have made me braver, more articulate, more thoughtful, more hopeful than I could have ever imagined. And I'm grateful that we spent this time together. And I'm grateful that the Daily Wire gave us a platform to grow this community. But at this point in my life, I am ready to take on a new direction, both personally and professionally. This means new challenges and new endeavors, which I will share with you soon. As for this show, the comment section will continue with the Daily Wire. My producer, Reagan, is taking over as host of the comment section, and I wish her and the Daily Wire all the best. We have had 3 great years, and I am proud of what we've accomplished together. Leaving this show and the platforms that we've built is hard, but I'm very excited for what's to come. Knowing that we have brought so many people together in laughter over these last 3 years means the world to me. I appreciate all of you, so let's chat again soon, but in the meantime, go touch some grass, kick some rocks, and we'll catch up shortly. And now, some final thoughts from the God King himself, Jeremy Boring.
What?
Bittersweet indeed.
The God
We're
King.
sad to see Brett go, but we're excited to see her take the next step in her journey. Brett's an amazing talent.
What a
both as
glazer.
a personality and as an actress. It's been a pleasure to see her.
An actress? Wait, she's an actress? What did she act in? Now I gotta know. Brett Cooper, IMDb. Brett Cooper is an American conservative political commentator and actress. Brett hosts her own show called The Comment Section, produced by the Daily Wire. Also appeared in various acting roles in her career. What roles? Known for Heathers and Parental Guidance. What roles did she play in those? From 2012 and 2018? Wouldn't she have been like 12 in 2012 or something like that? She would have been very young. Hold on. Brett Cooper, parental guidance. Yeah, she's like tiny. Right? Is that her? Is she the kid on the left? That's funny. She had like one role as an actress, maybe two, and they're like, yeah, she's definitely an actress. She's not just a failed political commentator or anything. Well, I guess I shouldn't say failed political commentator. She did great as that, but like a failed actress turned political commentator. Anyway, back to the video with our God King. What's his face? Sorry, I can't talk today. Just let
the
play
comment
the video.
section to life these last 3 years, and her performance in the Pendragon cycle is sensational. I'm certain that whatever Brett creates next will be filled with the same joy and laughter and heart.
Literally an extra in an uncredited role. Oh, she was an extra, so she wasn't even like on the cover. Nice.
That she's brought to all of her work at the
I was
Daily
giving her
Wire.
the benefit of the doubt.
We wish her nothing but the best.
So, my friends, while I have you here, I thought
Jeremy
we could run it
Boring,
back
that's his
one
name.
last time with the comment section. And last night, I was sitting at my laptop, literally racking my brain, trying to think about what would be the perfect last episode. I mean, there was so much that happened over the
Okay,
weekend
here
that
we
I
go.
desperately wanted to talk to you about, from Trump in France
She was Daily Wire's Snow White. Oh, okay, cool.
and the handshake wars with Macron, chatting with Joe Biden. Obviously, she looked very interested in him. I wanted to react to his wildly insane Meet the Press interview. Obviously, we can't forget Alex Cooper from Call Her Daddy literally admitting on stage with the New York Times that she was the one who turned Trump down, not the other way around. And of course, the absolutely incredible news that Daniel Penny was found not guilty on all charges.
Yes,
Basically
the incredible news. We hate murderers of CEOs, but we love murderers of homeless people.
Sending a huge
Right.
FU to New York's woke pro-criminal justice system. I mean, it has been a long 5 days. But there was one story that really stood out to me, something that encapsulates how I've always viewed my show, the perfect mix of politics and culture and scandal and chaos and celebrity. So we need to talk about Jay-Z. We need to talk about Jay-Z, who was just
She's really hyping up her show when it's just like a branch show of a political think tank. Like it's just a branch show of the Daily Wire. Like you're not all that.
accused of raping a 13-year-old
Oh.
girl along with Diddy more than 20 years ago. The New York Post put this up yesterday.
Whomst?
Jay-Z accused of raping girl 13 with Sean Diddy Combs more than 2 decades ago.
Am I
Allegedly, as
interested
the
in
story
this?
goes, this girl attended the 2000 VMAs at Radio City Music Hall.
I'll give her a
Afterwards,
minute.
she was coerced allegedly into a car by somebody on Diddy's team and was brought to a secondary location. From there, the statement reads, she was offered a drink that made her feel woozy, lightheaded, and felt like she needed to lie down, the suit said. She went into a room to rest. Shortly after, the suit said that Combs and Carter, that's Jay-Z, entered the room with Combs saying, "You are ready to party." That's when she alleges that Carter removed
You
her
are
clothes,
interested
held
in
her
this?
down, and raped her, while Combs and another unnamed female celebrity watched. She said that Combs
I didn't
also
come
raped
into
her as
but I didn't come into this wanting to know about this, like wanting to go over this story. I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit.
because this type of behavior in this filing, this woman who has decided to stay anonymous, she's going by Jane Doe in this case, filed the complaint back in October, but has just now revised it to include Jay-Z, making him the first celebrity to actually be named. Important to note, especially if we're being consistent here, but in this country, people are innocent until proven guilty. Even people who have been close friends with Diddy for like 30 years and most likely knew about or attended his freak-offs, even they are innocent until proven guilty. That is
True.
how our justice system works, and hopefully we still have a shred of integrity. But in the court of public opinion, Jay-Z is done. And apparently he's been done for a while. Somebody commented and said, really racking up upwards of 20 years old to 19 years old. I mean, that is that your dog will love. Cats,
Okay.
because Jay-Z, this is for
Yeah, I'm not interested in the rest of this. Honestly, I don't even know if this is going to go on YouTube, but it might. So, yeah, Brett Cooper's leaving the Daily Wire. Nobody's upset about it. And I wish I had a 12-minute video to cover, but more than half of it is not even about that. So, interesting that she posted the whole thing like this. But yeah, I guess that's it. So. That was boring. That was boring. I thought it'd be more exciting than that. Keyboard is fuked again, Ra. Sorry about that. There's been a lot of stuff happening, and I feel like I'm not very good at covering any of it. Sorry. I'm sorry, guys. I knew I had to stream today, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't know if I'm like that. I don't know if the Riz levels are working for me today. It's a nothing segment. I think it's a nothing segment. It's a good title card, but that's about it. Love the hat. Thank you. Tired of news. Let's just do react segments. Not your fault. There's nothing to cover. There's plenty to cover. I just feel like I'm not very good at covering it. We need to do video reacts. That's like my bread and butter. Any updates on Jubilee? Unfortunately, no. They never got back to me for an interview, so I'm probably not going to be on it. It is what it is. React to Hatsune Miku allegedly getting into Fortnite soon. What is there to say about that? Like, okay. They instantly care about Diddy but not Epstein. I think, I don't know, like everybody universally agrees that Epstein was bad. They just don't really talk about Epstein that much unless it's like related to a Democrat like Bill Clinton. But even then, they really don't bring it up a whole lot. But I think that like, I know what you're getting at, but like they're also, I'm pretty sure there are a lot of right-wingers who were tied in with Diddy too. So I don't know. You guys want to cover a furry video? Oh, what the fuck? My finger just started hurting out of nowhere. That's not fun. In all seriousness, I think you're too good for Jubilee. Jubilee has a really good formula, and it'd be silly to not take advantage of it. All right. Hello once again, my furry audience. This one's for you. Ever since I covered Brett Cooper going over why she hates furries a long time ago, I've had a huge influx of furries into my audience. I then did a debate against an anti-fur, which is one of my most viewed videos of all time, with I think around 70,000 likes, or it's not likes, 70,000 views, if I'm not mistaken. So suffice it to say, I have quite the furry following. And I have good news for you. We have another video to cover today about furries. From Thinking Critical, Marvel Comics double down on furry bullshit. Thinking Critical his name is Wes, apparently. He's a Christian husband, father, and comic industry YouTuber, so you know that this is going to be good. He has commanded satellites, worked inside a mountain, and served in the Afghan War. He has journeyed the globe from Alaska to England to the Republic of Korea. Wes is a proud expat, living with his best friend and wife and their 3 exceptional sons. Very good. So let's see what this exceptional father here has to say about furries.
Can someone answer
in Marvel Comics?
A very simple question. What is it with modern Marvel's obsession with making their heroes into like furries, like part of the furry community? Not that the furry community are awful people. I'm sure there are great people in the furry community. But for the most part, it's a cunt hair of the entire population. It's so minuscule.
A what?
But for the most part, it's a cunt hair.
Did he just say what I think he said? What's that word? Is that what he said? Did he say that? Is that... Is that a real thing? Hold on. Now this is going to be my search history. From Wiktionary, the free dictionary. Slang, vulgar, a very small distance. I've never heard of that. I've never heard of that. That's wild that he'd say that. My mom says it. Really? It's a common expression? Listen, I have never heard of this expression.
Of the entire population. It's so minuscule you can barely even see that it's there. Doesn't really appeal to a wide demographic of people, whereas in Marvel Comics, you're expecting it to appeal basically to everybody. At least...
Okay, but like Looney Tunes was universally appraised, and that had like a ton of like what you could consider furry characters. It's all over media. Zootopia is another great example. That was a critically acclaimed movie. Sing is another one. There's so much content out there of like anthropomorphized animals. It goes way, way back, even before we have like modern day TV and movies. Like, we have always anthropomorphized animals, and people who aren't furries have eaten that shit up. You know what I mean? So it's not necessarily appealing to like specifically furries. It just is what it is. It's part of media. Okay, I'm glad that it is not only me who has never heard that expression before.
At least men. But they continuously saddle heroes, characters that are struggling as is.
Yeah, Disney with Mickey
being
Mouse.
Furries. And this is all coming out of, was it Chasm, Curse of Cain? Whatever that book is that no one's reading because it's written by Steve Fox. One of the worst writers at Marvel Comics. Whenever I see his name on the book, I just know I don't even need to check it out. It's not even worth a gainer because it's going to be so bad. Every once in a while, one of these dumbass websites like Screen Rant will let you know, hey, you should have paid attention to this Steve Fox book because it absolutely sucks. And he did something really, really stupid. Of course, this is the guy that made the, what was it? Like the gay seamstress Spider-Man web weaver. Do you remember that character?
Not gay Spider-Man.
Was it Edge of Spider-Verse? I think the character was also in a Pride anthology or two. This is the level of creativity that Steve Fox is bringing to Marvel Comics. And shockingly, people are turning Marvel Comics off left and right. When I saw the article, which I'm about to get to, I assume that...
Why do they always say that like people are getting turned off of Marvel Comics because of gay people and furry characters and whatever else? Like, I don't think that's the reason. I don't even know that like people are getting turned off to Marvel Comics, are they? Like, maybe there's statistics on this. I could be wrong, but that sounds like hearsay to me, that like he's in a bubble of people who are like, well, I don't really listen to I don't really watch Marvel movies or read Marvel comics anymore because there's too many gay people. There's just too many gay people. Like, maybe that's his bubble of people, but I don't think that's a very common sentiment. I think Marvel is still doing fine. I'm pretty sure Marvel's doing fine. And also, like, can we talk about Squirrel Girl real quick? Let's talk about Squirrel Girl. You know what I mean? Like, oh God, it's a good thing it's definitely a good thing I am not showing Twitter right now because holy shit. People are going nuts over Squirrel Girl. Where's the video? She's solo Thanos. Isn't she a joke character? I can't find the video. Does anybody have the video of them pulling the model? I can't find it. Anyway, there was like a video of her like model being pulled out of the clothes, and she is dummy thick. Absolutely dummy thick, and the internet went wild for it. So now you got all kinds of art of Squirrel Girl. I'll pull up an SFW example. Let's see. I don't think this one will get me demonetized, but yeah, stuff like this, you know, just shots like that. People are nuts for her. And I know that she's not like a full-fledged furry. She's like a human with animal ears and an animal tail, but like, let's be real. People are fine with furry stuff, okay? They always have been.
That this was edited. The editor on the book was Sarah Brunstad, because she is probably the worst editor in all of comic books. And I'm including like,
I don't know her, so
little bitty publishers. You know what I'm talking about? I'm talking like, I'm including Humanoid in this, in Oni Press, as far as being the worst editor in all of comic books. And it's not Sarah Brunstad. It's Nick fucking Lowe. The actual group editor of Spider-Man is the editor of this book. And he decided to saddle a Spider-Man character that probably never needed it with the furry label, according to Screen Rant. Absolutely ridiculous.
So what?
There are a great number of established superhero groups in Marvel Comics, and the thing that usually defines them is their shared interest in truth, justice, and general heroism. But there's also a fair number of individual Marvel superheroes who have another shared interest, one that's decidedly less conventional. And now this dedicated group of heroes has another member, as Marvel names one more superhero who is self-proclaimed furry. And that's supposed to be like a big deal, like a big, bright, shining moment. Finally, we've got another furry superhero. You know what I would like in my Marvel superhero comic books? Heroes. People doing the right thing, trying to save the day, fighting.
Yeah, but like there are people who are furries out there, and they're probably very happy that like their, you know, hobby is being accepted as like a thing that you can do as a superhero. You know what I mean? Like it's good representation, you know? Okay. Like who cares?
For truth, justice, and the American way,
yeah,
or whatever it is that their
Raccoon.
ethos is, but they're so busy piling on all these like stupid little extra identifiers on them. The characters oftentimes don't even have time to go and save anybody anymore. We finally got in what was it? Ultimate Spider-Man number 11. Not that Jonathan Hickman is doing what Steve Fox is doing, but in Ultimate Spider-Man number 11, he finally fought bad guys. Almost a year before the hero actually stopped a bank robbery.
Superheroes don't always need to be saving people in order for the narrative to be interesting. Like you can have like if you look at a show like not Bad Boys, The Boys. Sorry, The Boys. A lot of the time, it is not superheroes saving people. It is just superheroes trying to live like as normal, some of them living as normal a life they can, some of them getting way caught up in their powers and like actually killing people. You know, like there are other ways you can explore a superhero world. You know what I mean? You know, there was in Invincible, one of the most iconic scenes in that is when Invincible fights his dad. You know, that's not necessarily saving anybody. That's like an internal conflict between father and son, more like first and foremost, I should say. You know, like I feel like this is a very simple. This is a way to simplify what like the potential that a superhero story can have. You know, like I haven't read the story, so maybe it is boring. I don't know, but I just don't think that the furry part of it comes into play.
That's how ridiculous comic books are getting, because you have a lot of people.
And also, I'm sorry, but like a superhero stopping a bank robbery, I'm just not invested. If you have a superhero stopping, like the only time it was acceptable is in The Boys because it was like going somewhere with it. You know what I mean? Like it was purposefully cliche. You know, it was self-aware. But in general, like the idea of a superhero stopping a bank robber is very stupid to me.
Not specifically
you don't got
Hickman,
anything
but
better
more
to do?
people like Steve Fox, your Jadzia Axelrods, your morons like that come in and they're like, I'm not here to entertain people. I'm not here to raise the profile of the character. I'm not here to establish my bona fides as a superhero comic book writer. I'm here to change the world. And the way that I'm going to change the world is I'm going to take an established character and make him a fucking furry, as if that would appeal really to anybody. I
Did
imagine
they say that was going to change the world?
Superhero comic book readers are also like, why is this guy a furry? It doesn't even make sense. He wouldn't be a part of the community. And even if he was, he wouldn't have time for it. He's got.
I don't think Squirrel Girl considers herself a furry. Okay, but like the idea of personified animalistic people, Like, she's on the furry scale, okay? I'm sorry, but she is. She's got a squirrel tail. She's got ears. She may not be very far across on the slider, but she's on there, okay? My point is that people have never cared. Look at Lola Bunny, one of the most sexualized furry characters in all of fandom, okay? Lola Bunny. Judy Rabbit, right? Judy Hopps or whatever, from the movie, Zootopia. You know, funny enough, it's usually bunny characters, but I digress. Crystal Fox from the Star Fox series, another one. Like, it's never been controversial to find these characters attractive or, you know, be invested in their story. Like, I don't know, like the idea of a character being a furry is just not that big of a deal to me. It's just not. Like, it's okay, it's a feature of their personality. Who cares?
Gonna have too much going on trying to save the day, but that's not really what superhero comic books are. Case in point, in Chasm, Curse of Cain #4 by Steve Fox, Kane Parker, aka the new Scarlet Spider, and Ben Reilly, aka Chasm, are battling the sadistic Eternal, Druig, and his army of mind-controlled Moloids, and they're not alone. Another hero fighting Druig's forces is Chasm's girlfriend, Hallows Eve. During this battle, Hallows Eve puts on a mask that grants her the ability to transform into a ferocious cat person, and as such, she tears through the enemy forces with terrifying ease. When her boyfriend sees her do this, Chasm comments, "You know how weirdly sexy I find your kitty cat form." It seems Ben Reilly is attracted to Hallows Eve when she takes the form of an anthropomorphic cat. Based on what defines one as a furry, someone with an important emotional, spiritual connection with an animal or animals, real, fictional, or symbolic. Ben's comments land him firmly within that category. That's just great. Ben Reilly, a character much maligned, cannot find his place in the Marvel Comics universe, is now the hero of the furries.
Who cares? That's great. Who cares?
To women dressed up like cats. Like, it does
That's
nothing.
funny. No, wait, that's funny. That's entertaining. That's like, oh my God, you have a girlfriend who can transform into a cat person and like maul people to death. Like, yeah, okay, that's kind of like, some people would say, yeah, that's kind of sexy. What? Because of Peter's relationship with Black Cat, it's a reference. I don't know the reference then. Peter Parker dated Black Cat. Okay. So there's clearly a reference here then. Okay, so there's even more context that nullifies this guy's point. I don't have that context, but apparently this is like a well thought out scene. Yeah, no one ever sexualized Catwoman, true.
Nothing for the character. And maybe it was supposed to be a funny line, but I don't...
Okay, so wait. You have a Spider-Man character who has a girlfriend who can transform into a cat, and the joke is that he's a furry? That's funny. That's funny, okay? It's a funny coincidence, yeah. Oh, that's pretty sexy. I'm glad that I have a girlfriend that can do that because it just so happens that I'm into that shit. Okay, that's great.
I don't believe so, because that's not who Steve Fox is. He's not a writer. He's an activist masquerading as a writer that's infiltrated Marvel Comics and is trying to throw these little things in there because now they're canon.
Why are you
Ben
so
Reilly,
mad about this?
From now until eternity, will be the furry Spider-Man, as if we needed furry Spider-Man. Do we really need that? Ben Reilly, who can't be the Scarlet Spider anymore. Why, I don't know. That was the only time the character really worked after, obviously, the clone song and all that kind of stuff. Now he's saddled with being dime store variant version of Venom. Very similar costume, except it's purple, but with the exact same, I guess, motivation, or at least he did have it at one point. He wanted to kill Peter Parker for having the perfect life, and now he's a furry as well. You're just never going to be able to get a character over. No one's going to be able to invest in the character, and the people that do like him, like, let's say,
why not?
Yellow Flash, who I believe...
You can't invest yourself in a character who's furry. What are you, a sociopath? Just because they happen to be a furry, you can't get invested in like their tribals and their trifles and tribulations, like their problems. You can't get invested in like their good deeds and like their fuck ups and whatever. Like you can't follow the story now that you have the knowledge they're a furry. What are you, like, stupid? Are you just like low IQ? Like, what are you talking about? That ruins the story for you. Why? It's like you said, it's just a characteristic of the person's personality. They happen to be a furry. Like, you can still follow their story and be invested. It's fine. It's fine. It's not that big of a deal.
Steve is an enormous Ben Reilly fan. You've just given him a reason to not invest in the character anymore, or deny ever liking the character, or get rid of his fucking Scarlet Spider collection to begin with and not buy the next volume of that when you decide to do the right thing and put him back as the Scarlet Spider, because he's the one that worked and Kane doesn't work as the Scarlet Spider. It's absolutely stupid that they're even doing this, but that's what happens when you employ dumb asses like Steve Fox that don't come in with an agenda to entertain. They don't come in with an agenda to do the best Ben Reilly story. They come in with an agenda to do as much as they can subversively and change the identity of the characters so they can get a headline in the Gay Times or the Furry Times or whatever publication.
Okay, I will cede you this. Sometimes they do these little things specifically to piss people like you off because they know it'll get press coverage. And it works. It works because of people like you, because of dipshits like you. You're letting it work because you're getting so worked up over it. So I'll cede you that, but you're literally playing into their hands, okay? So don't bullshit me.
Covers crap like this, and he can get a pat on the back and maybe get a high-five girlfriend when he goes to a con from Leah Williams, and that's about the extent of the achievement. But he's done, perhaps, I don't know how Ben Reilly fans are going to react to this, but perhaps he's done irreparable harm to the character. Definitely could happen. I know I don't think about Nightcrawler quite the same way anymore since Gail Simone did what she did. Now, obviously, they've done other.
What did Gail Simone do to Nightcrawler? I feel like I have to look this up. Why people hate Gail Simone, r/comic books. I think he covers it shortly. Okay, I'll go back to it.
Things to Nightcrawler, the legend of the butt baby, gotta have two moms kind of stuff. And that's what happens when you hire morons.
He's mad about the fact that they have two moms. That's what he's upset about, that there was a character with two. Okay, like that's just stupid to get mad about to me.
Like a Cy Spurrier, who isn't nearly as bad as Steve Fox, but is also terrible. And these kind of writers are proliferating all around the Marvel Comics universe. They're destroying characters. They're destroying universes left and right. And they get carte blanche not only from idiots like a Sarah Brunstad, but from the fucking group editor himself, Nick Lowe. And this is the dude that's chastising people left and right on social media and in the letters pages when he can't get his own fucking house in order. But of course, Screen Rant are very excited. They want to have an entire team up of furry characters in the Marvel universe.
Great.
Ridiculous.
Very ridiculous. That's fine. Like, who cares? Okay, yeah, bring all the furries together. Yeah, okay. We'll see if we can find a way. Now, I think that you would have to here's the thing. I think that a gimmick like that, to be honest, would have to be kind of a shitty plot. Because it's like, how do you get all of the furry characters across the Marvel Cinematic or the comic book universe into the same place at the same time, and only the furry characters? You really don't. You just don't. You'd have to have a pretty contrived plot, probably. It's like what they did with the bullshit in Endgame, where they had all of the female characters all together, and they're like, "Don't worry, we have help." And it's like it's like the girl power scene. I hate that scene so much. It is universally like the worst, like considered one of the worst scenes in the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's so bad. So I feel like it would be like that. But if they can find a way to make it work, then great. I'm just worried about the plot here. Here's my thing with people like this. Whenever they review shit, or whenever they go over stuff like this, like it's never about wild chat. Right now, what's going on in chat? I'll check it in a sec. It's never about like the actual plot, it's never about like, we need to make sure that the stories are good. It's not good for this and that reason. Like okay. You will never have a story that is bad because a character was a furry. Okay? That you just won't have a story that is bad because a character was gay. Stuff like that. You won't have a story that's bad because a character was trans. That does not in itself make the story bad. What makes it bad is the writing. So if it's a bad story that happens to have a character who's a furry, you're not mad at the character who's a furry, you're mad at the bad story writing. Okay? You just happen to also hate furries, and that's why you're pointing to the finger at that. That's my thing with people like this.
Riley's not the only one. There are a number of Marvel Comics heroes who have self-identified as furries. In the Deadpool Wolverine crossover event Weapon Extraction, it's revealed that there's a universe where both heroes are anthropomorphic animals. Basically, they're permanent fursonas. very funny Screen Rant. In Earth 616, Deadpool is very into it, even if 616 Wolverine isn't. And in Uncanny X-Men #3, someone calls Nightcrawler a furry as an insult, but Kurt clarifies that he actually is a furry, admitting that he thinks the parties are magnificent. So Marvel has established that Nightcrawler, Deadpool, and one set of Deadpool and Wolverine variants are canonically furries, and it just added one more.
Okay, Deadpool? Yeah. Yeah. So what? He is the joke character. Deadpool identifying as a furry is objectively funny, I agree. He's the joke character. What do you mean you're mad that there's a Deadpool who's a furry? Now you're just bullshitting me. That's how you know you're just bullshitting people. Getting mad at a Deadpool comic because Deadpool happens to be a furry. Yeah, okay. He is like the joke character. If anybody should be a furry, it should be him.
Ben Reilly. Oh my goodness, let's give him a standing ovation. Congratulations. Your entire house is about to fall under the weight of your stupidity. But let's give them a fucking participation ribbon for trying to get this stuff over. But it's never going to work. And like I said, hey, if you're a furry and you like comic books and you realize that, hey, Ben Reilly probably isn't good being a furry, or you realize that making Nightcrawler canonically a furry are bad ideas, then great. We're all on the same page. You could be a furry.
Why is making Nightcrawler a furry a bad idea? Like, what character, what component of that character would seed that he's not a furry? Like, why does being a furry interact with his character in a negative fashion? That's what I want to know. Like, can he actually answer that question? Because otherwise, this is just whining over nothing.
We all have weird things that we're into.
Yeah, imagine being his
kid. Think if you're a furry, that's a weird kind of little thing that you do. But I do weird stuff too. When I play the NCAA football game, I don't actually play the game. I simulate all the games and I just do the coach stuff. That's a weird way to play the game. And I'm sure there's a tiny subset of people in the entire world that likes to play NCAA football that way. Should you write a comic book specifically for people that like NCAA football, the video game, that way? Probably not. There's only a few thousand.
But like, you could put it in, like, you could have a superhero whose pastime is playing NCAA football on the Xbox. Like, that would be fine. Like, have a little segment that shouts those people out. Like, that's fine. You're fleshing out the character. Yeah, you're allowed to. You're fleshing out the character. Like, you would have no problem if you saw Spider-Man playing NCAA football on the Xbox. You would have no problem with that. But for some reason, you have a problem with the character mentioning they're a furry. It's just a hobby. It's just an activity. It can be a part of their identity too, but like, it's not a big deal.
1,000 of us. Not exactly a robust audience just waiting for that there. And they just constantly are trying to find the smallest minuscule of an audience in the world. And you're like, you know what? That's the one that we need to find. Fuck all the people that actually...
But it's not a zero-sum game. You can appeal to the furry community and still appeal to the community at large, like the comic book community. And you can show the furries who happen to be in the comic book community, hey, we're aware that you're there, and here's your fan service, by the way. And you can do that without isolating other groups from your comic book. You can do both. It's not a zero-sum game.
Have
so
money
it's really
and
a
want
smart
to spend
move.
Money on a regular basis for superhero stories. They don't really matter. Let's go find the weirdest, smallest, most niche demographic in the world and put Ben Reilly there.
That's
as
one
if that
joke
will ever
line.
help the character.
Yeah, this is all over one guy saying one time that he's into furry stuff from Nightcrawler. Like, it was one joke line.
But,
they can't even have that. You can't have that.
Fives and you go girls. When he goes
you get
to
nothing.
cons, I guess it's probably all worth it to him. But in the end, it won't be worth it to CB Cebulski, to Todd Brevoort, to your Nick Lowe's, and all the people that are supposed to be running the asylum that is Marvel Comics these days, because there's no oversight. There are no adults in the rooms. There is nobody there to ask a question. I see what you did there.
No more furry stuff.
How does
no more
that
furries.
help the character? What audience do we think?
We need an adult in the room to say no more furry stuff in Marvel Comics. That's ruining Marvel Comics, this furry stuff that's never been in Marvel Comics before. Right? Never had it. We've never had furry stuff in Marvel Comics. Now that we have it, that Marvel Comics is going down the drain, and we need an adult in the room to step up and say we don't need furries anymore.
That will attract. And also, the inverse of that, what audience do we think that might turn off? Nobody's there to ask just the normal business style questions because they're all too busy being subversive.
Oh no, we've turned off the audience of the Christian husband, father, and comic industry YouTuber. We seem to have turned off that specific audience. Oh no.
And trying to basically destroy characters.
Famously, we've always been in the good graces of Christians. All media everywhere is usually in the good graces of Christians. Certainly Marvel Comics, right?
But they don't own, they never created. The one character that Steve Fox created was a gay Spider-Man that creates clothes as a seamstress. The most ridiculous idea in the world.
So what?
Or at least one of the most ridiculous
That's not
ideas.
ridiculous. That's not, it's just a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man who happens to be a seamstress and is gay. Okay, that's not ridiculous on its own. If you want to see ridiculous, go watch like fucking half of the anime that I've seen in the past 2 weeks. Okay? You want to talk about ridiculous? Those are some ridiculous ass stories. I'm just saying. Okay? Having a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man or Spider-Person or whatever who is a seamstress and also happens to be gay is not ridiculous in and of itself. I would want to know what else goes on in this world because just having that character there is not indicative of whether or not the world's good or bad. But that's my point, is like you're bringing up something that is entirely neutral and calling it bad when it's just neutral. Okay, Spider-Man's a seamstress and also gay. What else is going on? Is it a good story? Are there good plot points? Do we get good character development from the Spider-Man or from the people around them? Like, what's going on in this comic book that you are upset about? The fact that they're gay and a seamstress? Okay, that's really weird to get upset about. That's weird to get upset about.
In the world until you realize Sunspider's still out there. An even worse idea aimed at another absolutely minuscule demographic of people out there. But this kind of stuff is why we are where we are in a managed decline. Marvel and DC know that they'll never get it back because they keep making decisions like this. And I don't think they want to. I don't think CB Cebulski cares if Marvel Comics can still publish comic books in 25 years.
My main gripe with Marvel is that their movies kind of suck. Like their movies are, and it's not because of woke stuff or whatever. It's just because like they always do the weird one-liners. Like I remember in Katie showed me the what was it, the Seven Rings or whatever, the movie with the rings. I can't remember what it's called, but like the superpower was like a guy who has like rings and he like uses them to do magic shit, right? And I remember this scene. This was the last Marvel movie I watched, and I remember the scene in it where the lady is like driving a bus, like a speeding bus. I think the brakes were broken or something down the road. And she's like stopping the bus, and she does it by like rolling over a fuck ton of parked cars and like grinding against a, not Green Lantern. No, it was like, I'm going to be racist if I get this wrong. I believe it was a Chinese person, like it's of Chinese origin. And it's like passed down through generations, like the ring power. Shang-Chi, yeah. Shang-Chi. And so this lady was like trying to stop this bus, and she's like grinding against the garbage truck and also running over a fuck ton of cars. And then the bus stops, and she looks over at the garbage truck driver who's like obviously shaken, and she's like, "We make a pretty good team, don't we?" And I'm just like, you've got to be shitting me. You literally just ran over a fuck ton of parked cars. You could have killed people. And that's the first thing that comes out of your mouth? Are you fucking kidding me? And this is just a normal ass person, by the way, who has no superpowers and just is thrown into the situation. And then she's like, "We make a pretty good team, don't we?" Like all sassy and whatever. It's stupid. It's so stupid. Like it's not funny. I like threw my hand on my head and I was like, "Are you kidding me, Katie? This is your movie? This is what you present me as a good Marvel movie? Like, come on." I'm not saying that alone makes it a bad movie, Katie. I'm saying that was silly. About the movie? Not that. I wouldn't say that. She's getting mad at me now. Anyway.
As long as he gets paid today, who fucking cares how much damage is done?
That's
under
my
his
problem
watch? And
with
I think
Marvel.
that's kind of the approach that he's taken the entire time he's been there. It's absolutely ridiculous what's going on here. If you do appreciate what I'm doing here, providing some honesty, a little bit of levity,
what you're
and
doing.
a lot of healthy criticism to the
What are you doing? It's not healthy criticism at all. It's stupid criticism. It's pointless criticism. There's no problem with the character being a furry. There's just not. And you don't have to exclude people in order to make a furry character. Like, you're reaching out to niche demographics in addition to your normal everyday demographic of, like, people who aren't furries. You can do both. It's silly. It's silly to think otherwise. This was a stupid video, and it just seems like he's not upset at any of the plot beats, the story beats. He's just mad that there was a furry character, so whatever, I guess. Wife stream. She does want to do God of War at some point. Well, shit, I've only been live for like an hour and a half, and that's all I had planned. I still have this pulled up. It's a good picture. Were you here yesterday? No, I skipped yesterday. That's why I'm streaming now. What's up?
I'm sorry. I shouldn't yell at you.
Oh, you're fine.
You have opinions and I love you.
Fine. Not a big deal. Oh, you're fine. Okay, do we got anything else good to react to? My goat, Katie. I still want to watch the Marvel garbage I missed. I know it's trash, but it's the kind of trash I like. And that's fine. It's fine if you like Marvel. I'm not shitting on people for enjoying that silliness, but it is silly. It's very silly, and it pulls me out of the action. It's the, he's right behind me, isn't he? Shit. Any opinions on this? Excuse me. 2026 California gubernatorial election. That's always a silly name to me. Silly word, I mean. No, I don't know if I have any strong opinions on this. Kamala might run for governor. Oh, is that what this is saying? Oh, yeah, you're right. Ooh, hello. The guy who tricked Josh Cedar into thinking he was going to be in What Does a Woman Do? Josh Cedar? Thank you for the $5. I don't know what you're talking about, though. Oh, this guy. Yeah, I remember him. He did blackface, too. I never did cover that. After a certain point, it's like, okay, I don't think you're faking it anymore, dude. I think you just enjoy, like, okay, I'm sorry, like, I've done makeup before on myself, and I'm bad at it. I'm very bad at it. Anybody who's that good at makeup, okay, come on, like, you like it a little bit. You like it a little bit. He has to. They're doing another What Is a Woman? I sure as fuck hope not. Actually, is Matt Walsh's latest movie available on the high seas yet? Not sure. I don't think this is it. Dead Domain did a good deep dive on him. Oh, Dead Domain's got great deep dives. Dead Domain has such good content, and I feel like I struggle to like find videos to react to now. So, thank you all for sticking around, regardless. Who have we not looked at lately? What's Melanie Mac been up to? Oh, you know one thing I thought about doing? Hold on. Okay, yeah, so this person named Jello Apocalypse did this video called So This Is Basically One Piece. And a lot of anime YouTubers are getting mad at it because they're calling it, like, woke and shit. And, like... Okay, so for instance, right? I watched this guy's video about it. Or at least with half of it. And he straight up is like, you drew Usopp as black, and I don't personally like that. And I'm like, well, okay, I was with you until that. Because this guy who animated this was wrong about a lot of stuff in One Piece. But, like, that's not something to get upset about. That's simply not something to get upset about. So I commented. I was like, I was with you until you started complaining about how the animator made Usopp black and Nami a lesbian. So I thought about covering that, but I don't know. I don't know if I'll have enough to say about it. The One Piece! How many undercover ops have you run? I don't know that I've run any. Undercover ops. Usopp is very black-coded. He was like, yeah, like he's designed to look like a black character, right? And they were just mad that like they made Usopp blacker than the source material. But I guarantee you that he didn't get mad when they made, you know, I bet they didn't get mad when the original animators made Nico Robin whiter than she originally was in the time skip. You know, I'm sure that wasn't something he got mad about. Anyway, sorry, I feel like I just haven't been in the mood. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I'm trying my best here, but something's just been off lately as far as, like, React segments. I think I had some really good ones last week, but I'm just not feeling it today. And I feel like it's been happening more and more lately, and I don't like it. Is Nami a lesbian? Didn't know that. Nobody's sexuality is 100% confirmed in the anime, and I like that. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have any of the main cast really dating anybody. You have, obviously, Sanji likes girls, but people still code him as gay because, like, Sanji and Zoro are constantly shipped together. But Nami, people code her as a lesbian because, like, she's never shown any interest in men at all. But she really likes Vivi a lot. Princess Vivi. I think Nami is bi, pan, or demi. Demi makes sense. They all make sense, but I like demi, I think. We need to gather content for the stream. Yeah, you guys need to get to work getting more content for me. Do I have anything on my Twitter bookmarks? There was that Florida woman who was arrested. I don't know. Just become a GameStop YouTuber. I thought about doing a little gaming tonight. We'll see. Sorry, the Florida woman who was arrested for saying the thing about, she said, what is it, I can't remember. The 3 words that, like, the killer wrote on the bullets. The CEO killer. But she, like, said those words and then said, "You're next," when she got mad that her healthcare wasn't covered. And then they fucking arrested her. It was nuts. Deny, defend, depose. Yeah, I think that's right. Still can't believe that. Crazy, crazy shit. Alright, I think I'm gonna take a break. Use the bathroom, sit down for a minute, and try to come back and see if we can at least get one more good React segment in. So I will be right back.
station's here somewhere. All we have to do is find it. I know we'll need a key to get inside. That's our only way to find it. So let's go.
lunchtime?
Okay, I'm back, and I've made a decision. I'm going to attempt to cover one more video today, but I will be honest with you guys, I am not feeling it. So I'm going to do my best on this one, and then I'm probably just going to hang up early. I know, I'm sorry, I feel like I've been falling off really badly as far as these streams go. I've been trying my best to keep up with content because I know you guys like it, but if I'm not in the mood, I'm not in the mood, and it's just not going to be good content. I feel like my segments today have been kind of lackluster, and I'm just not feeling it. So I'm going to do my best on this one. Now that I thought about the potential of this existing, I want it, but hear me out. Crochet blahage. I tried to crochet a blahage, and I fucked up the teeth really badly. So I hope you feel better. It's not even a matter of like, I don't feel sick. I just feel blah. Like, it's like the inspiration isn't there to like shit on these people the way that I'm supposed to. But I'm going to try one more. Okay, so probably the last segment for today. You know him, you hate him, Matt Walsh. He ranks his top 3 favorite controversies. And the reason that this one stuck out to me is because of this guy right here, the bald guy, Saitama. I'm very interested to see what he has to say about One Punch Man, if anything, and what these controversies are. And frankly, I just value Matt Walsh's takes, you know, because he has such base takes, like wanting, you know, underage girls to be forced to give birth, something that he famously supports and defends. So I'm just interested in his takes on things. Let's see what he has to say about these controversies.
Hey, Matt! It's time to start the video!
On occasion, I have found myself in a situation where people on the internet
That was so stupid. It was a little funny.
Are mad at me, and that probably seems surprising to many of you who've been following me for years. I'm such a likable, friendly
Solid
guy.
B+
Man,
joke.
F you. Eat my entire ass. It's hard to believe.
What just happened? It's funny because he does videos like this sometimes where he's like really trying to appeal to a Zoomer audience, but like he does not have a Zoomer audience.
I'm such a likable, and that probably seems surprising to many of you who've been following me for years. I'm such a likable, friendly guy. Man, F you. Eat my entire ass. It's hard to believe anybody would ever be mad at me for any reason, but sometimes they are. Let's get to the list. And we'll go 3 to 1. We'll start at number 3. Number 3. This has to be in the top 3. It's a recent hit, and that is, of course, raw milk. It's just a few months ago that I tweeted that raw milk is...
Okay, this is one that I actually agree with Matt Walsh on. Yes, raw milk is in fact disgusting. Yes, I agree with Matt Walsh on that. Anybody who thinks that raw milk is like healthy or anything, or like better for you, like no. It's disgusting. It's riddled with diseases.
Disgusting and unsanitary, and there were like 14,000 outraged comments on that tweet alone. That's not exaggeration. 14,000 people, and it was, you know, and many thousands more beyond that as the raw milk fans exploded in outrage.
Ew, what the fuck?
Well, they were either exploding in outrage or from the diarrhea from all the E. coli in their milk. Either way, it's no wonder, you know, that they were so upset. But this is about healing today. It's about coming to an understanding. So this is what I want to say to the raw milk fans. I want to tell you that I hear you, that I understand you, that I don't judge you.
I do.
It's understandable that you're so angry, that you're so furious, that you're so hysterical with rage.
But you can't take... Okay, so like, here's the thing. He is correct on this one, right? But like, he never comes out and says like, yeah, you guys should definitely like not be anti-vax, right? Like, or like he doesn't have very many good medical takes. This just happens to be like, he just happened to get the correct take on this one, you know, just by happenstance. But I would bet that a lot of his audience disagrees with him. Why is he being funny? I don't think this is that funny. Like, it's okay, but it's not like breaking any, you know, any walls of comedy. He's not like being innovative here.
And it's because of the parasites in your brain from the raw milk. And
okay, that was kind of funny.
I'm sorry that you're totally infested with worms. I know it's hard. I know what you're going through. I mean, I don't know exactly.
It would hit a lot harder though if like he could recognize that RFK is one of like literally somebody who has a brain parasite from eating raw meat, you know? Like, it's not wrong. He's correct here. It's completely correct. But everybody on his side of the political aisle disagrees with him.
I don't have the dietary habits of a third world hobo like you do, but I can imagine. And I truly feel for you. If I could reach out to you and give you a hug, I would. But I don't want to catch whatever viruses you have. So from a safe social distance, I want to tell you that I'm here for you. So that's
okay. Did he ever have any takes against the COVID vaccine? He had to have, right? Let me look it up. That is not the same Matt Walsh. Yeah, look.
Today on the Matt Walsh Show.
He got an episode from 3 years ago called Why My Kids Aren't Getting the COVID Vaccine. So yeah, this is like, this happens to be like, he just happened to fall on the right side of this one, but it's not because he's super concerned about people's health, you know, like that just happens to be one thing that he recognizes, like, yeah, this is bad. But it's not as though he's like a pinnacle of health, you know? So it's inconsistent. Like, why do you think raw milk is bad? Well, it's probably because of all like the proven health effects, like the negative health effects that come from that, you know? And any like good medical organization would tell you that's a bad idea to drink raw milk, but they're also telling you it's a bad idea to not get the COVID vaccine. So why, like, it just doesn't make any sense.
That's the first one. Number two, here's another recent one. But it was a big one. Also within the last few months, the internet was shocked and appalled and
soy milk is the best. I like oat milk personally.
Scandalized when I said that sick days are for children and that no adult
here we go
should ever take a sick day.
Yeah, this take just makes him a complete piece of shit. Yeah, he's saying that like you should never take a sick day.
Sick days are for children, okay? I still came into the office and recorded a video with subtitles when I lost my voice.
And this is just after getting done saying like, stay away from me, you disgusting parasite-infested raw milk drinkers. I don't want to catch what you have. And then he's like, yeah, of course I waltz on into the office on days that I'm sick. Yeah, I'm fine with infecting other people. That's totally fine. Like, it doesn't make any sense. It's an incoherent way of thinking.
The doctor said I had laryngitis. He said it's a minor illness. I should be fine in a few days.
Need to be at work, okay? This was very upsetting to many people who started hyperventilating and screaming at me about it.
Yeah, because it's a stupid position.
They said that they take sick days all the time, and how dare I pass judgment on them for it. I believe them that they're sick all the time. That's what they get for drinking all the raw milk. But I was especially surprised by the number of men who were shrieking like little girls at me. I don't mean that as an insult, but it's just like they did.
It's not shrieking. It's just calling you an idiot. You've already said that you're concerned about getting sick from people who drink raw milk, which is a valid concern to have because they probably are spreading disease. Guess what else spreads disease? Not giving people sick days when they're sick. You know? What if you work in a fucking cafeteria or something? Are you expected to not take a sick day even when you have a contagious illness? No. You stay your ass home. Do not make me sick or other people sick. Don't do it. Stay your ass home. And also, you probably feel like shit too. It's cuck shit. It's cuck shit to be like, no. You should definitely still work when you feel like shit. You know? Like, it's stupid.
Sound like little girls. Because I come from an old school tradition. You know, the way I see it, a man gets up, goes to work, no matter how sick he feels. I don't care if you have a fever of 112 degrees. I don't care if your internal organs are falling out of your orifices. You pick them up.
Yeah, that makes you an idiot.
Wherever they'll fit, and you go to work. I don't care if you die.
This is, by the way, this isn't. This is going to sound like very liberal of me, but this is an example of toxic masculinity. You know, this is how let's speak in very theory brain terms right now. This is how the bourgeoisie get away with keeping you down as a man. You know what I mean? Like, they convince you that, well, you're a big manly man, you don't need sick days, so you're going to go your ass to work anyway. Like, this is simping for the corporations. Okay? And that's like one of the least manly things you can do. You know? Like, oh yes, I bow to you, corporate overlords. Yes, of course I'll show up to work even if I'm sick. Even if I'm dying on my deathbed. Yeah, I'll still be there. I'll still be there at work. Right? It'll be written on my tombstone. Well, at least he showed up at work.
Died 20 years ago. You get up and bring your decaying ass to work. That's just a trick. That's my mentality, though. And it's how I was raised. And I've realized that not every man was raised the same way. I should have understood that. I should have accounted for it.
Yeah, some men were raised with
imposing my way of thinking.
Which, by the way, my dad also had this mentality, but I came to realize that if I'm feeling like shit, I'm not going to go into work. It's not happening. You know, and I shouldn't have to take a pay cut for that.
Thinking and living on other people.
Sometimes people get sick. That should be an investment that the company makes in the people that they hire. Is I know that these people are going to get sick at some point. You know, and you have to account for that. Okay? So if one of your workers gets sick and you have to replace them for a day, tough shit, you got to pay both of them now. You got to pay both the person who's sick now and the person who goes into work for them. I think that's fair. Because you can't control when you get sick. And if you got rent to pay and bills to pay and shit, just because you're sick doesn't mean you shouldn't be able to pay those bills. So yeah, companies should still have to pay you. Sick days are a necessity in a functional society, at least in a capitalist society. You know, if we lived in my ideal world where you don't have to work to make ends meet, then, you know, I guess in that world, sick days would just be a given because it's like, why the fuck would you work? You're sick. So
I'm sorry I wasn't more specific. I am because I should have said that, you know, if you take a sick day, it means that you're a woman or you're a child or you're a total pansy. I should have said
famously,
that.
men don't ever get sick.
Nuance.
They don't ever get sick enough.
Right? And I didn't, and I apologize. So I want to once again, I ignored the wuss community, and that's on me. So
how does he go from such a good medical take to such a horrifically bad one? That's insane.
Oh, you could have been, if you take a sick day, you're any of those things.
Which I know it's not breaking any new ground. It's like, yeah, you shouldn't drink raw milk. No shit, dumbass. But he came out on the right side of it, you know? So at least I can say that about him. But then he turns around and he's like, no. If you're sick from drinking raw milk, you should still go into work. Well, they're going to be around you, dumbass. And you just said you don't want them around you.
Or you're gay. So that's the other thing. It could also be that. I don't mean that as an insult. Again, it's not an insult. I'm just saying it's one of those things is what you are if you take a sick day. So we can put that one to bed.
That's not even funny.
Look,
What's
we all
the
know
joke?
how Christmas season goes these days. The Christmas shop partner app, another claiming with songs during the sacredness of modern WW shopping carts. Finally, my number one internet controversy, and this takes us back a couple of years to that infamous moment when I said, totally seriously, of course, that anime is satanic.
What's your opinion on anime? It's really popular amongst teens and young adults. I think it's all satanic. All anime to me seems weird.
Yeah, that's really stupid to say.
And this has proved to be the hot take of all hot takes.
I will say, like, saying that anime seems kind of creepy, a lot of them are, okay? A lot of them are. So I'm not even going to say that he's necessarily wrong about that part. Because there's a lot of creepy shit in anime. You know, there's a problem with like underage characters being sexualized all the time. You know, even in stuff like the original Dragon Ball, you have Goku, who's like a 7-year-old kid having like sexual antics with a 16-year-old girl. You know, like, and it's goofy stuff. You know, it's all goofy and whatever. And I'm not like, you know, I have mixed feelings about it, but I can understand why somebody would call it creepy. But you've got to know your audience better than that. You know, like, there are a lot of which I don't know how you can be a conservative and watch good media. But there are conservatives who watch anime and like it. So, you know, he's very bad at keeping these portions of his audience satisfied, you know? And I think that's a problem with conservatives in general, especially with the last segment that we did with like the furries. You know, they're really bad at reaching out to niche sections of their audience, because there are conservative furries, there are conservative anime lovers, and you're cutting those people. Like, I'm not saying that I like those people, but you're literally cutting them out of your audience by saying, yeah, all anime sucks and is bad. Oh, hey, Tipster, how you doing? Welcome in. So, you know, it's just not a good tactic.
What was for me a brief aside, an offhanded remark, has become a rallying cry for the anime community for years now. They're still traumatized by it, even now. So today I do want to apologize to the anime community. It's taken me a while.
This is so stupid. You've done this joke 3 times now.
To get to this point where I can even say this. I should not have said anything to upset you. I should not have angered you. I should not have.
Wait. That doesn't count as anime.
I should not have said anything to upset you.
This is not technically anime. I guess it's like in a similar vein, but it's not really anime. It's arcane, right?
I should not have angered you. I should not have bullied you.
I don't know what this is from.
I should have known better. You guys are not the ones to mess with. I've realized that.
Yeah, it's Echo from Arcane.
Because you can't handle the stress because you're morbidly obese. And I should have known better. I should have taken that into account.
That's not funny.
And I'm sorry.
Like, this isn't even me being like, oh my God, he's fat shaming. It's just not funny. Like, what's the joke? Like, that you're fat for watching anime? That's not funny. It's just not funny.
Rather than needlessly trolling you, I should have helped you get past the trauma. I should have helped you to get over it. I mean, I can't help you get over anything physically, because of the obesity, but I can help you emotionally, and I should have.
It's like bottom of the barrel fucking fat jokes.
Because this also upsets me a little. Because here's the thing: there are some people were taking my side in this whole debate, and some of the things that those people said that were on my side ostensibly, I found kind of upsetting, and they one thing is that, well, these anime people, they're all sitting in their mom's basements, right? They're sitting in their parents' basements, yelling at you. And I want to be clear, I know that you're not all sitting in your parents' basements. You might also be in their den or in their attic. They don't let you in the living room because they're ashamed, but the point is that you're not necessarily in the basement. You might not even have a basement. As for the issue of being demonically possessed, are you all demonically possessed? Well, probably. But
that makes them sound cool. Like, you're not even denigrating them anymore when you call them demonically possessed. That makes them sound cool. What? Like, you're trying to paint them to be pathetic and demonically possessed at the same time, when those are completely, like, on opposite ends of the spectrum here. You make them sound badass by doing that. Demonically possessed? That's cool as shit.
But you've got so many other problems that the demon possession isn't even the biggest one. So that's the good news.
It's so boring.
Your life is so.
Is he laughing at his own jokes?
He
is. He's like, oh my God, I'm so funny. Look at how funny I am. I'm gonna laugh at my own fucking jokes here that are barely jokes to begin with. Okay.
Your life is so bad that, in comparison to your other issues, being demonically possessed isn't that. So anyway, I think that's my. That's on the bright side.
He really does just think he's the bee's knees. He thinks he's like the funniest guy on the fucking planet.
Is what I'm trying to say. So, good. I think with
this whole video was carried by the editor, by the way, and it wasn't even that good.
I think it's safe to say that I've settled all these beefs, and now we can all get along and live happily ever after.
Mm-hmm.
You're welcome.
There's gonna be another joke about watching anime, right? Oh, never mind. I think that I will get along with Matt Walsh as soon as he says that, young girls can get abortions when they need them and not force them to give birth. But that's just me. Why does he always look like he just smoked a bowl? That would make him sound cool. I don't think he looks like he smoked a bowl. I just think he looks tired all the time. And soulless. Carried by the editors, and it's not even edited by Dubsy. True. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I'm not feeling it today. I thought that getting through that one would help, but it did not. So I am going to dump you. The question is on whomst of do I dump you? I haven't rated Boy Meets Minnie in a long time. It's also midnight, so it's all good. Maybe for you. The Euros. I know it was short. I'm very sorry, guys. I'm trying to get back into the swing of it. I feel like I had some great segments last week, but I've been uninspired this week, so it's not good. Do I have Boy Meets Minnie on my list? I do not. Okay, I'm going to link him for the YouTubers. If you are in site chat, you will be automatically directed there. 1 second. There's that. All right, go have fun with Boy Meets Minnie. Thank you all for being here. I'm sorry that I'm not feeling it today. I will be back on Tuesday more than likely, and hopefully I'll have a little bit more energy and be a little bit more fun. Until then, take care. Have a great night. Thank you all again for being here, and I will see you soon. Good night, everybody.